Hello. Testing one, two, one, two. Testing the microphone. Yes, yes. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hala, hoo ha, hoo ha. All right. Hello. I'm an animated character now. And welcome. Um, so I've been playing a lot of games on Linux, and it's actually been smooth. So I decided to even go further. Um, On another note too, right? There was this weird issue. I had a website restricted from my usage on Chrome, uh, Opera, and Firefox on my Windows, only on my Windows. So then I tried it out on my Linux. My Linux machine was able to get to this website with a basic Brave browser. Made me start thinking about the internals of what might be the next step in internet censorship. There might be module certifications and other things that good old Big Brother wants us to basically, well, install onto our computers, whether we know it or not. And obviously, Linux doesn't let that happen. So I access this website. However, I did solve it on my Windows too, after a little bit of play around. By just installing LibreWolf. If you haven't heard of LibreWolf, it is also a type of Firefox uh, browser alternative open source. It's based on the Firefox at least. But even Firefox is becoming corrupted by the hands of those that want to pry into our personal information. So, I'm going to do a couple of videos in the next few sessions that will deal with Linux. And this is the first of one where it's basically after the setup process. Uh, I do want to set this up though, because it is not mirroring, right? Meow. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, what? Hold on. Hold. 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 Ooh, background is a slight. No, that's not what I want. Why didn't it? Hmm. 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 Very, very odd. Which I'm maybe finding some problems here and there. I'm not sure yet. I am not sure yet. Like right now, I'm trying to set my desktop to do mirroring, and it worked fine when I had AMD processor and the NVIDIA driver not installed. However, I have installed the NVIDIA driver, and maybe I need to, mm, maybe I need to turn the uh, thingy. Maybe reset my little connection, the little screen share, the little, yeah, no, yeah. Wow, so it looks like I'm kind of stuck in this extended mode. Active profile, log out to switch. Interesting. Okay, so log out. I guess because in this case I have to reset the X interface. So it's not perfect for much of the situation, I would say. But we are progressively getting there. And of course, these drivers are not necessarily made specifically. Well, they're not, yes, made specifically for Linux. They have to be ported or worked around. Wow. Right now I'm on my AMD. That's so weird. No, 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 no. Well, you know what? You literally was doing it earlier. Hmm. So I'm kind of stuck here. Like I do have a window for you guys to look at, and this is the intro space, right? So as soon as you start up Linux Mint, we'll get started. I just can't apparently duplicate, mirror these two windows, which is very odd. I was able to do this before I installed the NVIDIA driver. I don't quite understand why that won't let me do it now, but hey, we have some form of forward process anyway. So let's say you do start, you want to basically install Linux. That's going to be the next kind of video. I've done a couple of videos on installing a Linux machine in the VirtualBox. And honestly, it's the same thing on a main machine. And the two ways you can essentially do this is if you delete the whole thing, the whole hard drive, right? Delete the whole hard drive and install Linux to just take over the whole system, the whole hard drive. But there is the side-by-side boot where if you already have Windows installed, you can do a couple of partitioning magic tricks, which I will show in the next videos. And I've already shown this too. I think well, this one was on the old Ubuntu Lost videos segments back in 2010 or so. Um, you can basically reduce the partition on one of your existing systems, whether it's Mac, whether it's Windows, whatever exists at the moment of processing. You can read, and you have to kind of make sure that your whole hard drive ain't full. If the hard drive's full, nothing you can do about it. You got to delete some stuff or back it up on a hard drive and then basically work your way backwards to get the setup going. So the idea here is make some space. And here's what a partition is going to look like, right? So let me kind of do this too while I'm talking about it. Here's a case for partitions, right? We see my hard drives that are connected currently on this device. Generally speaking, these devices are actually partitions inside of my computer. They are a MV2 um, drive, I think two of them in my device, and an SD card as well. Or maybe it was just two MV2s that were partitioned in multiple cases. Because this computer has a lot of systems on it. I have three operating systems on my current laptop. I'm splitting my actual laptop MV2 between two Windows partitions and one Linux. One main Windows, for those that want to understand why I have so many of them, one main Windows partition where I'm basically, it's been my professional use case scenario. And then a administrative scanning antiviral. Basically, if something happens to my system, I go into my secondary Windows partition. It's already set up to extra analysis on the other partitions around it. And basically, do some technical stuff to analyze my other systems just in case. I've had it many times where a virus pops up somewhere, someone downloads or throws something at me. It actually happened on Twitch, so that's why I don't talk to Twitch anymore because there's a lot of suspicious people on Twitch. Sorry, Twitch. That one guy ruined it for you. Um, he shared a link that he was saying that he made a game, and I'm thinking, oh wow, someone that watches and got inspired to make something, and it probably turned out to be some Indian dude that was trying to send me a virus, and then had a little fun trying to clean up that computer. But anyway, that's why I have a secondary partition. So here's kind of what it looks like, right? This is my MV2 drive, and this is my free space that basically a megabyte. That's not much. The problem here is that these are NTFS Windows systems, and you won't see too much from these two. Now I do have two external drives as well, but this is a partition on a hard drive. All of these will have, is that right? Oh yeah, this is also a MV2, right? Or is this the solid state? Yeah, it's an MV2. Or no, MZV2. Yeah, okay. So this is where I have a lot of different operating systems. I have my main operating system in one of these. I have a backup somewhere else. I have all of my AI stuff on one of these. I can't really tell from here because they're named particularly. Oh, this is my backup Windows partition. This is my recovery partition where we install stuff just in case something goes wrong. My MV2. There was an MV2 somewhere on here that holds all my AI stuff. So basically, this is how complex your partitions can look, right? One of these can be your operating system. The other ones can serve as secondary storage locations. This is what I like to do to maintain that if anything happens and I get infected in one partition, I can quickly act, restart, go to my clean windows with administrative tools, and then basically scan the crap out of what I think is infected, and then clean it up and then go back like nothing ever happened. So these are partitions. These are segments in your hard drive, one hard drive, multiple partitions. That's the key here. Multiple partitions on one hard drive. They can act as one big drive like this guy. One big drive. In fact, I think this one's my MV2. Yeah, yes, this is my AI partition. So all my AI tools are in here, and all my operating systems and random stuff is here. So you can have your drive be one big partition, just acting as a typical hard drive. But you can also have multiple bases segments of the hard drive separated into Windows, Linux, Mac, whatever different operating systems. However, if you have a starting point, right? Let's say this is your Windows partition, it's a giant one, and you want to split it so you can do half of it Windows, half of it Linux. Well, you would have to, hmm, resize. Resizing is risky. Resizing is very risky because one of two things. One is that you want to have at least 50% free to reduce the amount of risk. Resizing means we're just literally going to like drag this over to the middle and resize it. But files aren't normally stored like a glass of water. It's not just a cup being filled from the bottom to the top. Rather, it's random places on that hard drive being used and connected and linked lists, and all kinds of different forms of storage. So it's not like a cup that's being filled from bottom to top. It's random, like a mailbox system where you have a 100 by 100 mailbox grid, and there's random ones that are full and random ones that are not. So if you decide to cut half of that, then you might accidentally delete files or delete mail in certain mailboxes that are just randomly placed in the place that you want it to resize. So just making sure that it's 50% to the halfway point filled. That's the biggest thing you want to do. Even if you want to like reduce it by 10 gigabytes, 20, because for Linux, you don't need much. You need maybe 20 gigabytes to have a sufficient system. 40, 50, 60 if you want to like install and play around with a bunch of different applications. But like really 20, 30 gigs if you just want to basically use it as a browser and use browser-based applications. Because honestly, you can basically use the browser as your full system nowadays by just going to Google Sheets and Google Docs and Google Power Presentation, whatever. So having to install stuff doesn't necessarily need to happen. So that's the idea, right? Half of this partition we could resize, and then the next thing, or before you resize, also depending on the hard drive system you have, normally solid states don't have to do this, but if you're still running on a HDD hard disk drive, those spinning disks that used to exist, well, they probably still exist. I mean, they do still exist in larger sizes because this is a 5 terabyte version, but it's not a solid state. It's called Megaboy, but it's basically that idea, right? This is just a HDD. So if I had an HDD, not a SDD, I would also defrag. Who's heard of defragging before? I don't think there's a defrag on Linux. Actually, I was looking for it, but I could not find a defrag on Linux. So that's the problem, right? Defrag on Linux doesn't exist because most of the things we have, well, actually, because Linux doesn't need it. It organizes everything on an ext4 based file system, and that's already indexed and organized much more than an NTFS. So that's the biggest difference here. Linux doesn't need to defrag because it's already organized optimally. Your searching of files is actually much faster on a hard disk drive optimizations that the file system ext4 has. This is the file system that you would format on your partition, right? That's the one big other thing. For Windows systems, you're going to see NTFS. This is the Windows system type, right? All of these are going to be mostly NTFS because they're mostly Windows-based partitions. FAT, FAT is kind of a general. I think the max size is about 2 to 4 GB. I think it was 4 GB for a single file. You can't have files bigger than 4 GB on a FAT system, which is ironic. And here's where my root Linux system is on an XT4. I've given my root operating system about 20 gigs, and there's about 6.4 GB free. So this is just going to be a kind of side system as well. It's not going to be my main system. And then I gave myself, which I probably should have gave myself a little bit more. I can maybe resize these. It's a risky. Not that risky actually. I can resize my this 42 because I'm not gonna probably have too many files. I have a lot of other partitions for files. I should probably extend the size of my root system because root system is where your like applications are being installed, configurations. So it looks like the a good minimum space for an operating system is about 14 gigs. And then you can have a home directory mounted at home for your regular files. And I give myself like 43. Should probably done it backwards to be honest, but hey. Tails operating system over here, and etc. So NTFS and another NTFS. So the format that you decide to partition is going to be based on what system you're using, ext4 for Linux or NTFS for Windows. Now they can both use FAT, but there's an issue with FAT because FAT only supports up to 4 GB of single file sizes. So that's a thing. Anyway, so if you have a hard disk drive, recommend on defragging. If you're using a solid state drive, you don't have to care about defragging. You just have to make sure maybe cut down the size, back up half of your files, and then you can partition somewhat safely without losing any files. I haven't had any trouble with the times that I have resized partitions, as long as there was at least 50% space on my device. All right, so that's the partitioning part. After you set that up, well, that's for another session. And I have also shown that part of the session in one of my previous videos in the last maybe month or two, where I was installing Bazite. It's not Linux Mint, but it is Bazite, right? Bazite was installed on my system, and I didn't quite like it that much. Honestly, it felt like a bulky version of Linux, like a Windows version of Linux. But honestly, I may be working a little bit more stable with my NVIDIA card because being that I cannot actually mirror right now is very weird. 200%. Whoa. Okay. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I hate when it does this. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Gonna move this over to the other side. Okay. Keep changes. Why can't I mirror? Why you no let me mirror? Anyway, this is also on the basic setup when you first install your system, right? You will want to do one of a couple of things. Can I change my display setting to the different main? Okay. Yeah, I can make this my main. All right, cool. So the first thing you really want to do, all right, so we talked about partitioning. You get this little welcome screen. You can customize it. Ooh, wow, colors. You might, if you have an NVIDIA, you might want to check your driver manager. This is where it'll look for specific drivers for your system. Currently, I have the NVIDIA 580 drivers set up. This is the one I have set up, which makes me think I should probably go backwards. Ooh, that's a good point. Because I did have actual issues with my Windows setup. Recently, I made a short about how when I updated my drivers, the NVIDIA drivers, I can't tell at this point if it's going to be NVIDIA's fault or Linux's fault for what I'm experiencing today with the mirroring. But on my Windows system, I can 100% say it was NVIDIA's fault because it almost like blew up my freaking graphics card. It was horrible. I updated my driver, hoping to increase my capabilities and all the things that my device can do on new games and stuff. And then randomly during PUBG, my fans stopped working. They just sabotaged. And I reset. The whole computer resets a couple of times, hard reset. Eventually I start resetting it because I'm like, okay, I can take once, but now it's been happening literally every time. And not even just with PUBG, any intensive graphical load that would work, right? The other one was I was doing DaVinci Blackmagic editing videos, and it stopped also. And I'm like, this is weird. Why is my fan stopping so suddenly? So I've opened up my laptop, I cleaned out the fans, everything's peachy fine. It kept stopping. So I downgraded my driver back to a older version. Let me see which version that was. Go into my Mega Boy, where all of my downloads and backups are. Nitro, exe, backup reinstallation, Nitro 5. Nitro, 3070, 1640? No, that's not it. I had written this down. Drivers. DJ 578. Ooh, you know what? Best working. I even named the folder best working 578. So I might actually drop to 570 because it was kind of a good midpoint between having the CUDA framework and using CUDA with my AI, my local AI, but also being game friendly and everything works perfectly fine. And so far with this update, downgrade, I guess, this with this downgrade, no issues with my graphics card, no issues with my fans, no nothing. So the specific one I had luck with was the 578.28. If you are running an NVIDIA 3070 or any of the NVIDIA cards and you're starting to see issues with your graphics card, probably downgrades of about 570, but probably 580's got bugs. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised because they're using vibe coding and AI to basically optimize all our software. That, or they're actually trying to sabotage us because they're just running us consumers dry with all these, uh, with the hogging of all the graphics cards and now RAM for these stupid data centers that's going to raise the prices of every single piece of hardware, preventing anyone from being able to actually make their own computer anymore because it's going to cost way more money to make your own computer because there's a premium of 200% above MSRP price because Crucial decided or Micron decided to leave uh, the hardware space and or the customer consumer space. And they decided to go milk out those data centers for as much money as they can. Oh, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand what these corporations are doing. They're just, I mean, I do. I honestly do. I've kind of talked about this before, so I'm not going to talk about it again, but it's a probable plan that they want us to be dependent on subscription models. So we don't make our own devices. We don't make our own AI hardware. We don't even make our own gaming machines. And we depend on subscriptions and cloud gaming and cloud AI and cloud office and cloud everything and have a subscription thrown down our throat for every single thing we want to do on a computer. Anyway, that was a summary on what I think is happening with the tech bros out there. So 570, I'm gonna have to try downgrading mine also, because that might be the issue, and I'll report on that. If I do that, I'm gonna have to restart my whole computer, which maybe I'll do it at the end of this session. So the next best thing is to open up your update manager. So keep in mind, all of these are available in your Linux menu down here. So we've got package manager or store here. Go into administration. There's the driver manager. Uh, there's my X server, NVIDIA. There's the software manager. Software sources. Don't have to touch that specifically. Everything's normally good by default. but we'll talk about software sources in the future. Update manager, also good. This is where we're going to go next, right? To update. So you click on that, open it up, and you get this bad boy right here. You see this bad boy? And it's going to look up, and I haven't updated yet. The one thing I do normally manually, well, I actually did update. Oh yeah, forget I did update. What I do when I update is I don't use interfaces. I just go apt get update. And then I do this. Oh, okay. Sudo apt get update. Sudo me, please. And then it'll look up for all the pieces online. And basically, the first update case is to check online for updates. The update is, hey, all those sources that we have on the general sense that I was going to go over later, right? The application sources that we're talking about over here. Right over here, software sources. It's just locations online that are trustworthy, Ubuntu, Linux, etc., that have packages for us, and we check to see what the latest packages are. It's kind of like an app store where you can also technically include any source that you know of, which also means that you can have issues with packages if you're adding sources or you run scripts. You copy and paste somebody else's code from online into your terminal, and then they add a source to their local router or well, server, and then they upload you a virus. Yes, that can definitely be an exploit. So you shouldn't be doing anything crazy like copying and pasting code from an online source unless you know what you're actually doing and you trust the website that's happening to, not just some random stranger telling you to copy and paste something into your terminal. That's just kind of basic logic, right? You don't trust random search. You don't trust. Oh, excuse me. You don't trust random strangers with a key to your house, do you? So there's your point. So the first thing you do is sudo apt get update, and you can always, oh, I already did this. Yeah, sudo, then you can do sudo apt get upgrade. This will actually initiate the full upgrade of everything on your system, whether it's Firefox, whether it's GIMP, whether it's the system running kernel, whether it's your file man, like literally, you don't have to update applications one by one anymore. This is really why people should be using Linux. Everything is managed through these sources. You don't have to, oh, Chrome has an update. Oh, Firefox has an update. Oh, Photoshop has an update. Oh, Adobe has an update. There's no individual update process. Oh, you get an update? Well, sorry, we couldn't complete the update. Go to the website, download the exe file, run it, and then it'll do all this other stuff to install your update. No, you type in this sudo apt-get upgrade, you press the enter button, and then it does the thing that you want it to do. Technically, we already did it, so it's not a big deal here. But, or don't even use the terminal, just use the little update manager and press install button, and then put the type password for your security, and it will update your system. This is only one package right now, but GIMP will be here if it has an update. Firefox will be here if it has an update. Every single application will update through this one package manager, update manager. This will keep your system completely updated without the hassle of checking every single application one by one, running them to see if there needs to be an update. Because security tight AF as fudge. All right. This is going to basically not only make updating simple for you, but it's going to guarantee people will actually update their system because it's just one button. And when you do that, you patch holes almost immediately as they appear in the CVV space online with exploits all over the internet. This is why you should probably definitely move to Linux. Safety, updates, constant simplicity. Oh, anyway, there's a lot of stuff going on the internet right now. And it's best to do the easiest, most optimized format possible. And this is it. I don't understand well, I do understand. Windows is just made different. It's built different, as the kids would say. Um, because Windows is kind of made to be an individual file-based storage system. Your application runs in your own file, but Linux is made to be more quote unquote communized, community, com communismized, socialized. Like you can use one application can use the same libraries that other applications use. Like it's kind of like the main point is that you have a library folder, and if you don't have a library, you install it. But if you do, like five different applications can use that same library. Library meaning that like it's like a file. It's a file of code. That's it. Like if you have a specific type of image editing library file, then GIMP can use it, your Paint application can use it, your Photoshop can use it. Every single kind of image editor can use that one library, right? Which basically makes it a lot more versatile and saves you space so that each one of those applications don't have to like download their own individual pieces. Do I have to restart? No, okay, I thought I had to restart. Nice. Okay, so we've updated everything on the system. We've customized stuff down here. Probably setting up a firewall for sure is important. Is how you manage it. It's actually like I've never seen such an easier firewall, right? You first tell it where you are, and then you turn it on. Ta-da! Now you're protected from the things that are coming in. So you can deny any incoming traffic. Anything that tries to contact you directly from the outside, boom, not gonna know you're here. Either it's gonna completely um, silence that port location, or just gonna ignore it no matter what they do. That's it. Now, if you have a problem, you want to let an application communicate back and forth, like some sort of remote desktop or a file sharing service. Yeah, of course. You go to the rules, you add the application, you look for the application, type in file. Remember to open ports. It's a little bit extra here, right? Oh, yeah, Amule? What's an Amule? A mule! A mule! I'm talking to a mule. In, all, allow, go to advanced, take in the ports that it's probably going to use, in direction port service, etc. Oh, you can also just do straight up ports, right? So you can either allow the specific application through, or you can allow a specific port through. This is a bit more extra, like, advanced, but let's say you're having trouble and you want to do a quick something, then you can turn off your firewall, do that quick something, do a remote desktop, and when you're done with that, you can come back and turn it back on. Right. I'm actually gonna right click on the icon down here and I'm gonna pin it. So it just stays in my taskbar so I can access my firewall settings quickly. And that's it. If I want to go back and turn off my firewall, of course, there is a level of annoyance with this password processing, but I promise you, you need it. Everyone needs some level of interaction with their system, not biometrics, not a picture of a face. Even a pin code can be kind of exploitative, an exploit. Make a complex password, and then you will have to type it in. That's the only thing. That's what people, I guess, have an issue with is you have to type in your password when you want to do admin-based stuff. But that's for the security of your system and your privacy. It's like, oh, I am so annoyed that I have to reach inside of my pocket, get my key, and unlock my door to go in. I wish I had a face recognition device that would open the door for me. Well, you know what? That shit gets hacked. And then you get someone else in. Or someone can put a picture of your face up to your door and oh, hey, Bob, welcome home. And it opens it up for you. This technology is not that good to trust to that level right yet. So any extra level of password maintenance is going to be important here. So make sure you're not being lazy about it. That extra step of having to input your password is what's also keeping your computer safe. Keep that in mind. Okay, so that's a basic setup from the welcome screen. Cool. Welcome to your new operating system. Let's go. Documentations. If you want to dive deeper into the system, collection of guides available in PDF, EPUB. You can download them to your computer. You can go to the web forums on the Linux Mint forums, ask for help there. Chat rooms. You can also ask me when we're here in live. You were just chilling and you kind of want to ask some questions. I'm here for those. Windows 11. That's hilarious. Windows 11. Yeah, um if you want your private data leaked and recall watching your passwords, then go ahead. Windows 11 sounds like it's for you. But I am not never moving to Windows 11. You can catch me with my dead body using that sucker. Uh, Actually, I can't use anything with my dead body, so that's kind of a point, right? Anyway, continuing on, you do you, boo boo. Like you do what you want to do. I'm not gonna stop you from using Windows 11, but I'm gonna tell you right now, them TPM modules are gonna start keeping track of everything we do, just like an IMEI on a mobile phone. And if you're okay with that, that's fine. I um I just don't trust corporations as much as you do. I don't like to, you know, jerk them off a little bit more, just like you like to do. Oh, what's the target for this install this time? Well, the target right now is actually just a laptop with a 3070. So my specific concern, because my other install was a just a custom built PC, right? AMD processor, Ryzen, AMD 570 graphics card, GX, GTX, whatever. This one was an NVIDIA. That was my biggest concern, was how is NVIDIA going to work with this? And so far, yes, it's all right. I'm actually going to do a quick reset. I'm going to go ahead and swap. Remember this. This is a good thingy right here. This is a very good thingy. This basically lets you download any drivers that are not currently configured. Also better than Windows. It actually tells you, hey, it's a driver. Like, have you ever tried to use the Windows like driver update? Never fucking works. Never works. I try to look online for a driver. You have the most recent driver. And then I go to the manufacturer website. Hey, you have an update. Well, why the hell did Windows not tell me this? It feels like Windows has features that have been just empty, like a ghost town. Like one of those Western freaking whatchamacallums. Mm, tumbleweed sort of situation, right? So I never really understood why Windows has those driver managers. When they don't actually, I've never really installed anything from the Windows driver manager system. When it checks online, I have to have the actual files on my device on a hard drive, search for those files and run it, and then, oh right, yeah, you have an update. I see a file. Um, But again, the biggest issue I've had with NVIDIA lately is the 580 drivers. So I don't know if I recommend 580s. The 580 drivers have been one, again, I don't know if you were here for the case scenario. Make sure you do like, subscribe, guys. I do a lot of technical stuff, programming, even mathematics if you want to get that critical thinking brain going. Um, I had the update last last month. Not this month, last month. I did an update and there was an issue. I just have many devices. My 570 I built some of you might not know. If you go to um hold on, let me show you real quick. If you go to techwarelabs.com, where am I? I need to adjust this thing. I used to do journaling, journaling. That is me. I used to do journal writing, journalism. There it is. That's the word. So I had some hardware to review. And this is what my tower has. I haven't really done it ever since then, but this is when I built it. This not this one that you're looking at, not the one here. The other device and the other videos where I test it in gaming mode, right? So me actually testing out Cyberpunk on a 570. It ran pretty good for a 2017 card, guys. I don't know if it's the case that it's a Linux system and there's less Windows bloat, so there's more freedom for the hardware to flourish. But I played like freaking Cyberpunk on a 570. I had to reduce the graphics, obviously. We had to go a little bit down on that system. But I did manage to play it, and I played a couple of cool games on there that really got that. The Red Devil was this is my baby right here for real though. That's my baby. This card is fantastic. Honestly, old hardware still valid, still valid. If you have old hardware within 2015 and it's having issues, it's probably because Windows is on your system. I really do think so. I don't know if you've taken a look at the running processes on a Windows machine, but that stuff really does slow down your system. Oh, and you have this. Look at that. You can look in the overview. I have a double screen setup right now. Does Windows have this? Kind of. Yeah, a little bit. They had to do that recently with Windows 10. Do you know when Linux had it? 2000 like 8, I think. Anyway, Windows likes to copy, Linux likes to innovate. That's kind of the idea. So update manager is set. Why going with 570? I mean, again, it's not because went with a specific piece of hardware. I had a 570. I have a laptop with a 3070, NVIDIA 3070. So I'm kind of testing both sides of the world, right? An AMD graphics card from 2017 works great. The next thing I do want to test on here, though, is probably install, I think I can install Olama, right? I gotta find Olama. Maybe I can install it manually through the package. So I'm gonna install Olama and check out how the CUDA works on my 3070 Linux version. Because again, I do a lot of AI on my regular Windows system. I use Olama. I have like 10 AI models on there, everything from Mistral Nemo to these Claude something hybrid distilled models. And I use Python to basically control those AIs, give them access to the internet and all kinds of fun little things like this. So again, like and subscribe. If you like technical stuff, you want your own AI. If you have a graphics card right now, if you play games on your computer, you can run an AI, guys. You don't have to fork over money to Chad GPT. All right. You don't have to give them money to have an AI. You don't have to pay for X Grok. That's stuff you can do it on your computer. End of story, right? So like and subscribe for further info, but basically if you go through my channel, you can find everything you need to set up your own AI agent on your computer, program it with Python, and expand from there. It really doesn't take that much extra work. You just have to know a little programming, but I teach you that too. So, all right, let me see. So we've set up the updates, set up the processes. I did want to basically finalize this hard drive upgrade, right? Did I do that? Welcomes Queen here. The update manager here. Did I do? Okay, so now I need to restart this sucker. So let me see if the 578 is going to do any better. Or the 570. I'm not sure which version specifically. Oh, wait. Wait. I see what you mean. Why am I going with the 570 version of the driver for the 3070 than the 580? I see what you mean. Well, I explained a little bit earlier that I had an issue with the newest updates. It stopped my 3070 fans from going, right? There's a lot of version numbers. You got to make sure you put driver version 570. So I know that you're not talking about the RTX 570. Because we're going to be throwing numbers back and forth all day here. Like, this is technical stuff. Be specific. Um, so the 580 from the last update that I had on my system, hold on, why no work? So when I updated my 580 driver for my NVIDIA 3070, my fan stopped working. And that's why it hasn't done this before. This was on a Windows machine. This is not on Linux. This is straight up Windows. So right now I have the NVIDIA profile. Let me see real quick. Now it's not picking up. Then again, I'm using the AMD. Let me do a switch to NVIDIA performance here. I could also need to replug my stuff in because I did a restart. And do another restart. So yeah, the five. I mean, I'm not getting any good signs over here from the 570 driver anyway. But when I updated my latest hardware on my Windows to 580, the fans would randomly stop. I don't know. I don't know why. I was playing PUBG. I was doing video editing. Anytime I kind of breach a certain level of graphical intensity, but my AI was fine for some reason. I think my AI was fine. 'Cause again, AI uses your graphical system, right? So AI was fine. There we go. Okay. But as soon as gaming happened, or as soon as some sort of video editing, graphical editing stuff happened, there was an issue. So I decided the issue was that the fans stopped working and I was at risk of overheating my graphics card. Okay, can I mirror now? Oh, it's still not mirroring? Okay. I'm really starting to lean towards maybe Bazite. Yeah, it was weird. You can see it on the shorts. So because of that is why I went back to 570. I'm back to 570. You just saw me try to do a change. I mean, it's not a huge issue, right? I'm trying to go to a mirror-based display. What if I change one to the other primary and then I switch? I'm not sure what this bug is. It seems more like a bug than a issue. So then my real next step is because I wanted to because if I do dual screen, that's a problem. We gotta match their resolution. Hold on. What? That's a weird way to think about it. That's just the OBS monitor. That's interesting. I can't change this. It's stuck. I don't need that though. Who the hell needs 165 freaking gigahertz? If you need more than 60 gigahertz and you really, really, really think that you can see more than 60 gigahertz, more than the actual physical, scientifically biological maximum that your actual eyes can do, and you think, oh, I need 144 gigahertz because I'm special, then you've been brainwashed by marketing. Guys, the brain only works so fast. The eyes only work so fast. If you think you're just so special, you're the hero of this story, and your eyes just see so much clearer, you should probably get your ego checked. Because we're all human beings here, and I can't fucking do this. Mm, it's a good point. Hmm. Okay, so 570. Oh, but it's not even the 578 because my Windows version is 578. CUDA 12.8 is fine. So then I can basically run my typical AI stuff. It's currently pulling 17 from 115. I mean, it seems like it's doing the thing. What was that? There's a command to get logs from NVIDIA Linux console logs. Incorrect configuration. Setting in grub can cause switch to inaccessible to the console. Interesting. Well, yeah, grub is a key too. I need to switch the default login because right now I'm dual booting. Yeah, it's interesting me too. Like I guess the biggest thing is potentially setting up Steam right now. And again, guys, okay, so we started with the whole gaming thing, right? I don't know if it's gonna work. I'm pretty sure it's gonna work. This one little bug isn't gonna hold us back from the next step, but ta-da! Dude, do you know how long I've been waiting for this? Do you know how long I've been waiting for Steam to be in here? You just click here, install it, continue, do the thing, voila. Amazing. It's crazy, right? Right? All right, so we're installing Steam. We're gonna test out some games. And this is again a 3070, so basically every single game I've played. Oh, wait a minute though. I mean, I gave myself not enough space, so I gotta be a little bit. Oh, is it gonna? Oh, I might need to repartition my. Depends on where I store my game. No, no, Steam lets me store it anywhere. I can basically store it on the 42 gig space that I made. That's fine. That's fine. I still should be able to do this. But then again, I wonder, because again, I'm sharing partitions with a Windows system, and I have a specific partition that is responsible for storing the Steam games I have on this system. So can I reach over into my already existing Steam collection on my neighboring partition that already has all my games installed? And can I just say, hey, Linux, can you run that game that's I use on Windows, but just do your little Proton thing and just get it going? That's a fun thing to consider. Then I can literally share games between Windows and Linux on one partition without having to constantly reinstall crap. Steam is a binary, proprietary only software. Will be installed into Steam Korea. Okay, yes, it's already using my home directory as the main point of installation contact. Cool, cool. All right, so not a crazy issue on. Wait, no persistence. Um, Interesting. The valid value is baud rate 15. Grub. Cumulus switch upgrade update grub. Oh, right, D-message. D-message was a thing? Hold on. Qt web engine process. That's for the Steam, I believe. Let me do that thing again. I gotta be careful with some of the things I do and the logs I show. Ah, interesting. I'm getting this. What's wrong with Linux Mint? Why you lolling over there, huh? What you got to lol about? What you got to say to the Linux Mint crowd over here? Honestly, it's probably better than Ubuntu lately. I started with 12.04. No, way before that. No, dude, I was there at 8.10, I think, when I started using Ubuntu. But I mean, that was super early too. You can find a lot of like check out this forum right here. If you look up Ubuntu CJ554 Acer Aspire, this sucker's. Is this me? No, yeah. Wait, am I? Hold on. Is this mine? It's archived from the days old. The days old. No, it's not me. No, it's not me. Try installing Ubuntu cheap. Uh, I made a running script, but that was way back in the day, yo. Was it the Aspire? The Blue Gem? It's somewhere in the. archived space on Ubuntu. Anyway, I've been using Ubuntu for the longest time, but I also need to work, so I generally don't use it directly all the time. I play with it at least for the latest. But I have sync problem. Right, let me check this though. Hold on. So I found this error on my term here for D message, and it's a cinnamon issue, which is an actual cinnamon setting issue. Which honestly, I don't know about cinnamon. I think I might go back to GNOME 3, honestly. GNOME, or maybe even go to like the XFCE environment because those are super low on the process, and I can give um more of my graphics card to gaming. So there is some issue. Segment fault at 0 IP, blah 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 blah. Error libdisplay.iso. Likely on CPU 8 core 4. This was when I tried to do a display change. If I do it again, display change, do a little mirror, do a D message. Again, the same thing pops up. And there is a code after that. This guy. Either a error code or some form. So let me take a look at. So it's not a. It may not be a driver issue. It could literally just be a cinnamon issue. So yeah, you can go ahead and laugh at cinnamon real quick. Well, you can laugh at Linux Mint for using cinnamon. I don't know about cinnamon. Hey Linux Mint, how you doing? Think bad. Tail var syslog. You can check the syslog after a crash. Let's make a crash happen. Ooh, look at that. This deactivated successfully. I got more messages. Okay, so then this happens after the crash. A lot of memory locations I saw down there. Let me check updates. Yeah, maybe. But in the end, I bet you I'm gonna run Steam and play the game just fine. It's something with Steam, not Steam, with Cinnamon having some sort of hissy fit over the communication between the driver. I bet you it's something of that form. I can maybe agree with you for Arc. I don't know if Fedora though. The KDE environments take up so much for the fancy graphics. They take up a lot of graphics processing. I like the lighter GNOME 3 or even lighter XFCE environments, which would kind of lurk within the Debian space. But yeah, I can agree Arc, having Arc being set up. But keep in mind, like we're working kind of with like user-based stuff. I'm not gonna sit here explaining to users how to use Arc, all right? If you use Arc, awesome. Much respect. But I'm not gonna be here like, hey guys, Windows is trying to take over the world, trying to take your data. So let me teach you how to use Arc. You know how fast I'm gonna lose people? Yeah, like real quick. 0 to 100 real quick. So for sure, there's probably better ways to do it. Debian's honestly not that bad. I haven't had issues. I don't know about the gaming base, but the general usage and user friendliness of Debian's pretty sick. Now, I don't think this is Debian. This is specifically, um, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You do technically have options. I can also change from, but the problem here is not even Debian. I have, well, actually, is Bazite a Fedora based? I think Bazite's Fedora based. And that actually worked pretty straightforward out of the back box. So I'm kind of seeing your point there. 'Cause I did have Bazite on this system, but it just felt a little too bulky for me. Um, Arch. Yeah. Yeah. The particulars. Arch Linux. I know. I just said the way I feel like saying it. Sorry. So sue me. So I can potentially play any game I want. The problem is Cinnamon's having issues, potentially. Scholar Mint, repeated 3 times, supervising 8 threads, process 16 245, user 2000, core dump module, libudev, Ubuntu's. Plus, it's kind of a form of like improving the things we work with. Also, Fedora is super tied in with Red Hat, and Red Hat has been acting like the Windows of Linux lately, the Microsoft of Linux. My bad. Nice. You've been compiling a package on Arc. Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to compile from source, you're gonna have some time. I mean, you can, I guess, speed it up with like solid state and making sure all your resources are, no, even then, it really depends. Compiling from source is nice, and then just making sure that you do make some sort of image backup on the system. Hold on, where's Python here? Python 3.12, trace thread, this call. Making sure that you do make a nice backup to the configurations and compiles that you've made, so you don't have to do the whole compile again. So make sure you do like some sort of image backup of your drive, at least your operating system root directory, root partition, at least your root partition. If you have that spread apart, you should. If you're an sorry, Arch. If you're an Arch user, sorry guys, sorry I said Arc again. Cache OS. I have heard about that. Yeah. Cache. Sorry. I'm gonna do this, guys. I'm gonna mess up the namings. My bad. I speak 2 languages, and sometimes I get lost in the pronunciations. Um, and it's all really like backwards pronunciations between Slavic and English. So, um, because I'm not even gonna go into the aspects, but some letters in English are pronounced one way, and then some letters in Slavic are pronounced in the opposite way, like B and D and all these P and R's and things that you wouldn't even imagine. So you've got some weird things. Anyway, my point is, that's a good point. My point is, you have a good point. Caching. I was seeing and hearing a lot about caching. Might be the next attempt to go for. I'll have to try it and see just how user friendly it is, because the case here is to be user friendly. And I've heard it is. I've heard it is user friendly. Not saying it isn't, but also I do look at Cashy and I'm like, it is art. I'm gonna have to catch myself on those art. Um, uh, I guess I have a stigma. I have a stigma of art users coming in being all high and mighty. That's number one. I mean, I've been using Linux for over 15 years. And Arch users haven't changed. Maybe they will now because they're trying to appeal to the masses. Maybe they will now. They'll be a little bit light on the criticizing, um, especially when we have the same enemy and the enemy's name is Microsoft. But I have a bit of a stigma on Arch users being being who's that guy? This is this is uh this is the Arch user for me. You know this guy. You know this guy. Sorry. No bad things intended. You know, no negatives intended, but this is the arch guy in my eyes for the last 15 years of having to deal with you online in Linux forums. Because I'm a teacher. I like to teach. I like to introduce regular, non-professional students how to do mathematics, how to do programming. But I will never put them down for not knowing it. Never, because that's the point, is to help them get to know it. I'm a teacher, educator with a passion. I don't think he's changed. No, that's changed. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. At least Lorda agrees. Um, no, I'm not fighting Microsoft. We're gonna, it's not a fight. It's not a fight. It's a suffocation. That's all it is. Given the time, potentially, it'll suffocate under its own weight. You know, you ever hear about the giant that falls because they're too big? That's fine, man. You do you. That's fine. You use the arch. You use the arch. I'm not saying anything negative. That's just the stigma that that operating system has. And look, another person agreed that was the case, and he doesn't think it's gonna change. Like, if you don't reflectively, objectively look, like you don't have to do any of this. You can watch and enjoy what we're doing. But I'm just saying this is the stigma that exists. So I want to introduce people as an educator, as a passionate teacher, to paths and processes that they can go for and not criticize them for not being an Arch user or being in depth and detailed. So I will try caching. You have a good point. I'm saying you have a good point. I will try caching and see how Arch has progressed from its roots. For sure. And it's going to be a future video. Uh, but just because there's a stigma that exists, don't like shoot the messenger, right? This exists for a reason. People do the things that they do and they create those images of themselves. Y- That's just it. That's just it. Um, anyway, there's a stigma with the Slavic culture too, and I understand that. We have a bunch of gypsies everywhere, or we are the gypsies, or whatever the case may be. Like, there's just stigmas. It's human stigma. Ultramarine. Ultramarine. Linux? Do you think Ultramarine Linux modern operating system? Workflow, hardware tools. You know what I really appreciated about Ubuntu back in the day was like the Ubuntu Studio version. Okay, okay, we're still okay. The Ubuntu Studio where it had like a full set of like audio management systems, built-in image editing, 3D environments. I do like to explore Linuxes for sure. If you take a look, let me you want to see excuse me. Let me show you my Mega Boy. All right. Let's go to DLs. Let's go to I have a whole set of ISOs just in case the internet falls apart. All right. A whole bunch of ISOs. Yeah, I got a lot of Linux, Windows, Gparted Live, great tool, OSGeo, Parent Security, Pop OS. I have a lot of ISOs. A lot. A lot. And I've collected it over the years. So, case scenario, yeah, a lot of them. These are just for the case of I need to like system monitor or administer some stuff. But I like to collect them, put them in my little drive, and if I ever need to use a specific system for anything, I will use that system for something. Um, or at least play around with it to understand how it works specifically. And as far as a developer goes, it's good to have different operating systems so you can check how things work in different environments. So that's the thing. So I don't know about this error. So far, everything's working fine in the dmessage space. For some reason, though, I will say I didn't have any. Well, okay, I didn't have any issues with Bazai because it's probably Fedora. It is Fedora based, and also it doesn't have Cinnamon. There's no updates, by the way. Nothing I can do with the update process. So the other case scenario is to check what I wanted to check, see if I can include my existing library storage locations, because right now it's only looking at home. Let's see if I can go into, let me choose another location, Megaboy. No, I have to mount it first. Ooh, I wonder if it can mount the NTFS. It should be able to mount the NTFS, right? Let's see. Nitro Steam library. Where's my Steam library? This is where all my games are? Yes, okay, so Nitro. Nitro, add. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Identify all the games. Let's go. Okay, first it's downloading the Steamworks Common Distribution Package, which is Proton related stuff. So this is what we're doing right here, right? So this big boy somewhere, but there's my partition that's technically NTFS. So this is my Windows partition with all my games in it. So we're gonna check and see if those games get recognized under the Linux Steam system. Why would gatekeep though? Like you're a gatekeeper of knowledge. Does it make you feel that if normies got into it and got to a certain level that it wouldn't make you special anymore? Right? Or does it make you feel like if normies went into it, you're gonna have extra work on your hand as a techie? You're gonna have to answer all these new questions from everyone trying to use it. Like I don't see the reason for gatekeeping, especially consider that you're in an open source community, my dude. What is the point of gatekeeping an open community, right? Like you're kind of fighting ironically against your own purpose or your own cultural. I guess this is the problem with teachers nowadays. They're not there to teach. They're there for the prestige of being in front of the class and being that person that's in front of the class to command all the others. The more teachers that there are, the less they feel special about being a teacher. So then they have to do stupid certifications, and just because you get certified to do something doesn't necessarily mean you are really doing anything useful. Doesn't mean you're a good teacher because yours. Oh, it works, dude. It works, dude. It works, dude. Okay. Okay. It works. So what should we try out? Let's try out. Oh wow. Wow. Super wow. These are literally the games on my Windows system. There they are. That's absolutely bonkers. I mean, this is a 3070, so most of these games should work. So the real comparison here is, oh, I have stuff. Oh, what should I try? I need a graphic intensive one that's, because I don't like to install a lot of games on this PC. Well, hmm, that's a test. That's a test right there. Wait a minute. Your game is ready to play. Okay. Wait a minute. What are you downloading? Oh, reserving space. What do you mean? Steam Linux Runtime 2.0 Soldier. Interesting. Proton. Okay, so I'm still downloading some things. Dude, that's sick. I mean, okay, specifically Arc, that's fine. That's fine. Again, I'm a teacher, so I try to teach everyone. I try to be informative. I'm not gonna say, well, I'm not gonna say there's stupid questions, but yeah, there are stupid questions. All right, I get that. I get that. You gotta have some level of logic. But also, I mean, give me the reason. Gatekeeping Arch is better than you think. Why? 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 Let's do a little Socratic questioning. Why is gatekeeping anything better or good? Let's get a little Socrates up in this place. Hmm? What you think? Why? Get a little philosophizings. Okay, Proton. Oh, wait, easy anti-cheat runtime. True. That is a big problem with Linux, though. I will start right here and say that anti-cheats, especially low-level kernel anti-cheats, don't tend to do good. Games that run those do not tend to be good on a Linux system. Unless Arch has a solution for this, then this is universally a issue. There is a progressive. I see, yeah. The best way I found people to make use is to tell them about Mint, and then they start customizing it, then later talk to them about Fedora. There is like you're just pointing out just the basic learning curve. That's it. That's it. So you're just kind of saying like, yeah, you're not gonna drop a regular Windows user into Arch right away. I understand that 100%, right? Oh, so it's gold? So Hunt Showdown is rated gold? Nice. Okay, so let's check it. I'm not too sure on the how I can benchmark this, but I guess I'll just benchmark it based on usage. Because on a system, so now I'm gonna use it the same exact. I'm just impressed. Am I really though? Because these are files specifically for, you know, these are my Windows files. The games that are being recognized are the Windows files. But then again, the whole point is to have Proton be that layer between a Windows file. So now I'm like, holy crap, I don't have to reinstall a game twice for me to use it between Windows and Linux. You know how much this simplifies my life for the migration process? A lot. A lot. I can still maintain the same partition separation between all my files and systems. The only issue now is I have a couple of, I mean, of course, Windows-based applications that I need to either convert or find a layer on top for. Like I have my Invoke Community Edition manager. Maybe I can do a run on this. Permission, allow execute. Blah. So yeah, the only issue I'm seeing with like the NVIDIA driver is for sure this cinnamon incapability. So I might have to adjust that a little bit. I do like Hunt though. Hunt is sick. It's freaking it's a great game. Problem is, I'm still in this bind, this display issue bind, where I'm using dual monitor. I still have this issue. So then let's do a little bit of let's do a sudo apt-get install gnome 3. I'm just gonna go to the basics. Let me see. Hold on. Gnome shell. I don't want gnome shell. That sucker is poison. I don't even want wait, Proton's not enabled? I don't even want that Wayland crap that they're trying to push. The whole X issue that they're having, the whole X issue that they're having, compatibility, Proton experimental, yeah, it's on. Got Proton a different version set, but it is on. See what it looks like without any other customizations. The Wayland drama on X display having issues. Okay. Maybe display based issue. I'm also still I'm gonna download GNOME. Oh, GNOME shell a little bit too much, but then again, Linux Cinnamon but allows easy installation. Yeah, 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 I get that. I've always respected GNOME, man. GNOME is so base. Oh, I don't even have to do GNOME 3 anymore, just GNOME. Nice. Oh, it's a 600 megabyte thing. That's fine. NVAP. To what, the game run? Or, I mean, pretty sure I'm using NVIDIA right now. Yeah, active profile NVIDIA. The 3070 is being applied. PCIe. GNOME Light D. GNOME Display Manager 3. Super base. GNOME has been the just I don't know why they had to make GNOME Shell. They had to compete with this whole dock-based, super fancy looking desktop. But I'm like, just give me some icons. Give me a basic menu I can customize. I mean, if you look back at the videos I've made already, you can make GNOME 3 look like Apple desktops, OS X. You can make it look like Windows if you wanted to. You can have all the fancy glass arrow graphics and crap if you really want to. Who cares about that? That only takes up graphic space. But you can do whatever the hell you want with GNOME. But when it comes to like basic simplicity, GNOME just works. And then I don't know why every time we have something that just works nice, we have to be like, oh, let's make a fork of it and make it even better. And then boom, now you have something that's technically looks, I mean, you arguably supposed to look better, but it just functions less function. It just doesn't work. Like I'm a proponent for XFCE because it's so light. All it does is serve as an interface. And I still use the terminal for most of the things anyway, so why do I care what what display manager I'm using, right? Give me something with some clicks if I need to do the clicks. And then for the rest, just, oh God, no. Cinnamon on Wayland. Ooh, no. By the way, guys, Wayland is a trap. Don't trust Wayland. Wayland, I think, is corporate slop. Okay. Hello. We're in that now. Nice. Great. All right. Display settings. This is no uh, huh? 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 I'm not seeing you do the thing I want you to do. Mm. Do it. Come on. Come on. Yeah. One contains the bar active. We almost there. We almost there. So I can do a join. Yeah, I get it. Great. Cool. Nice. Mirror. Built-in display. Yeah. Mirror. Just freaking mirror it already. Welcome. What are you? What are you? Typing. What are you? All done. Great. What are you? Is it, is this just another GNOME entry point? That's funny. I guess it is. Yeah. Yeah, we're back to this now. Cool. Great. Awesome. No, is this I mean, am I mad about this? Whatever the hell. Uh, 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 it's not. Oh, cheese, dude. I'm a fan of the cheese. Hold on, is that working? Yeah. This was like the old school, dude. This is sick. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Yeah. Oh, ah. This was like back, dude. This was so long. Historical fucking yeah. So long ago when I remember using cheese, I was like, oh, I have the same stuff as an iPad back in the day. That's sick though. I like that. I like that there's cheese on here. Cheese it up real quick. All right, this is kind of bringing me back. All right, I'm cool with this. Input methods, image viewers. This is cool. Mahjong. Mahjong. Yes, please. Mahjong. Well, they got. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, I'm distracted already. I'm looking at shiny things and I'm already distracted from the purpose of this. Robots? More shiny things? Oh, wait. Oh, it's that one. Run away. Run away. Oh my gosh. No, I'm dead. Anyway. Great. Wait for robot. Oh, you. All right. Anyway. Silly little gnome games. Silly little gnome games. Um, I'm distracted again, guys. My bad. My ADHD went on a different route. My brain just kind of just. Mhm. I'm looking at stuff that I shouldn't be looking at. Why am I distracted? Hold on, hold on. Where's my display? Display, display, display. Oh, it's the whole settings and oh, okay. I want this. I want this. Cannot be applied. This could be due to hardware limitations. Interesting. Interesting. What say you about these hardware limitations? X screen dimensions. I don't need that. What the hell is that for? Well, I guess maybe it's because it's spreading between two screens. Hmm. 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 Oh, interesting. Oh, nice. Look, they have an actual temperature gauge. Is that right? That can't be right. That's pretty cool, actually, thinking about it. Yeah, it's not bad at all, actually. Like I said before, I have to update if you want lib display. I mean, I didn't update unless I have to force a specific update on lib display, so maybe. If that'll do a specific update, I'm not sure. Mm. Talking about the error we saw from the previous, is that what you're saying about the lib display? Not sure what kind of update you're thinking about. I've done all the updates and an upgrade. NVIDIA firmware was automatically and is no longer required 580. True. I can technically remove that firmware. Don't really care for it that much. But elaborate on that lib display thing. You might be onto something. Let me clean up some space from that thing. Okay, these are the different levels of functionality. We're pretty low. That's nice. I like it. So that's the weird part, right? I am currently sharing thing. You did it reverse order. You installed and upload and installed NVIDIA. You did the thing in reverse order. You installed, updated, then. So I should have installed NVIDIA and then updated in that order. Is that what you're saying? So updated or installed NVIDIA, then did a system update. Pretty sure normally we want to do a complete update of the system before we do any extra. Uh-huh. 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 So then if that's the case, then we have a package. I mean, there is no system update. I did an there was a kernel update. The one thing after though, the one thing after I installed the NVIDIA driver was a kernel update, which might have been that adjustment. Hold on. I thought it did an update. Might as well. I don't think the other system is updated to Zara, but hey, let's try it out. Because yeah, like you're saying, there was a kernel update after I installed the NVIDIA drive. Because I did again, I'm very used to doing a system update as soon as I start, but I think you're right. I should have had the so it compiled the display with the old functionality, and then I installed NVIDIA on top. That's what you're saying. I compiled the source code of the driver with the update, before I even had NVIDIA on my system, which means that it did a lib display compiling of whatever was before NVIDIA. And then I just installed NVIDIA. And it was already compiled with the previous set. So now the NVIDIA is just hanging on top. That's what you're saying. Just, yeah, the case. But then I would have to reverse that process then if I was going to recompile, but I have to recompile. I mean, I'm updating technically an upgrade. That should be good enough maybe to readjust everything. But there's no update in general. So let's see how this fares. If I do this, that's a system upgrade. So that might give us something. But we would see some sort of issue somewhere within the display. Maybe it's an issue with the HDMI. Anti-aliasing MPG. We would see some generic huh, OpenGL is GL. Right. It is configured for what I see it to be, mostly NVIDIA-based configurations for the server, client, OpenGL, and all the others. Long-term support, yeah. Well, we'll try this. Otherwise, I'll probably do a reinstallation and try it out that way. Not that I have anything set up particularly. All right, so let's check. Okay, hold on. There we go. I'm not too mad. I'm not too mad at this interface. It's not horrible. You know what I mean? Like, that is the GNOME in which it is now, which is a bit more graphical interface. I remember, what was that called? Composite? XComp? Back in the day when it was like Linux was trying to show off all those graphical interfaces for the user, for the GUI, like a window that burns up or folds up into an airplane and then flies away. All this random BS that really was so unnecessary. Um, and eventually they made it a bit more lax and logical. You didn't have this paper plane folding window and burning window flying all over the place. You just had a fancy desktop that actually doesn't take that. Wait, wait, that's fine. Wait, this time I don't see the login options for Cinnamon. 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 So it technically did an update. Still having an issue there. Changes. So the bug still exists. So that's not good. I mean, if I do this and it wants me to apply, yes, it'll do that. Cool, great. Then I can change this to built-in scale, friction, orientation, refresh. So then the other case is exactly what you said. Now, should I do a 580? Cinnamon in the minute. Should I do the 580 driver or go with the 570? Like, do you think that would make the biggest difference? Yeah, I did the GDM. Yeah. I mean, should I do light GM? It's cute. Oh, look, a menu for everything. I still miss having a freaking notification space here where I have my little teeny tiny background applications running and then the main applications running in a bar. And who the f needs a dock? I think I'm gonna go with light DM, right? Light GM. I think I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna do that again. Like, should I try updating this right now to 580 or should I try a reinstallation with first doing the driver install, then doing the updates and the upgrades? Which one of those should I try? That's the question. Should I just start from scratch, get the NVIDIA driver installed first, and then do an upgrade? Or should I just right now try and upgrade 580? Okay. Well, let's try that now then. Oh, well, I can technically do that right here. Upgrade up, install NVIDIA. Gosh, what was it? Driver 580. I wonder if do they have 575? Do they have this? No, they don't have this. So they only have certain versions running, or certain versions increments available for Linux. They don't have all the in-between increments. Alright, so we're gonna try and reinstall the 580. Should I have uninstalled the 570? That's actually you're right. That's right. As a technical IT, you want to just try the quickest thing possible so you don't so you save yourself time for the future case scenario. You don't want to reinstall Windows if you can just adjust some settings. So this should technically recompile 580 for us. Deferring update trigger activated. Okay, live video. Was this were you talking about live video? No, live NVIDIA, because you were saying live video, but potentially that's the one that maybe we're needing is the live video compiled to 580. So the interesting thing is, at least Bazite, it just started working from the get-go. It already had the, I guess, kernel configured with an NVIDIA card. I didn't expect to run in through so many kind of issues configuring Linux Mint, but this is only for an NVIDIA card. That's the thing. I didn't have to do any of this extra processing on the AMD or GT, was it G8? On my other AMD graphics. Yeah, I didn't do the server. I should probably safely do a restart just to have it. About what? What did you forget about? I still have yet to adjust my freaking stupid grub menu. Let me adjust that real quick after this. It's one of the big things I hate the fact that, I mean, honestly, should I? Yeah, I should. I still use my Windows mainly. I like to have a backup Windows operating system and a backup Linux just in case. Meh. Excuse me if you heard that burp. All right. So we did have it reinstalled. Still not having it. This could be too sensitive. Hmm. Whoa. Hold up. What? That's gonna just turn off that, which makes no sense for me to do. Still having that weird issue. What you think, chat? Let me see. Oh, you right. 6.8. What was the process for the kernel update? Why doesn't it automatically go higher? That's interesting. Maybe it's a phase for LTS long-term supports. Let me do a little. Oh, hello. Linux, NVIDIA, 580, kernel compatibility. Yeah, that's the one we have now. Here's a significant update offering better Wayland performance. Ugh, the trap. The trap. Wayland is a trap by the conglomerates. You didn't hear that here. They're trying to start some drama between the X display. What is it called? X something? I have to manually do it. Kernel version matching is very crucial. Let's just, I don't know. Hold on. I have to do an actual compile manual. Oh, hold on. Kernel RPM for third living Grub 2 Fedora, uname R. That's a full. Oh, I hate that. Yeah, I hate kernel upgrades. Third point. Think you have the finale here. Yeah, so most Linux Mint comes in 6.8. How can I upgrade to a newer one? Da, 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 da. I did do some sort of update recently. Install Linux kernel 6.11. Hmm. I mean, could it be? I have compiled kernels by uh from scratch before, but maybe they've made it just a simple. No. Is it in sources? Hold on. Do I have to activate it through? Wait a minute. No, those are typical basics. Preferences. Oh, wait, hold on. No. Packages. Minimum float packs. Hot packs. The tab is hidden. And we're in the update manager. Unless it's a type of sources that we have to un. Unless we have to do a source code repository. Uh, oh, they really do hide it out of the way, huh? I see. I see. See, okay, 14. 14? Hmm. Hmm. Maybe I gotta move up slowly. You're saying you got 18 working fine, so potentially just, I could technically move up slowly because I got a 6.8 now. There's like a little, okay, I have this one activated 2029. Cute. We can go 618, see if that compilation with the new NVIDIA 580 is going to work out fine. Or I can go straight to the 14. Apparently, we don't have 18 on Linux Mint. That's interesting. I wonder if it's not on the official test list yet. So I'm gonna take one step forward. Let's do a 11. Probably gonna take some time. Throw in some music in the background because. That's true. I'm starting to see it. I'm starting to see it, and I'm a little like sketched out. But is it for the case of user simplicity, making it nice and stable, da 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 da? Or they haven't done enough testing on 618? Or is there something about 618 that doesn't rub Linux Mint the right way? So I'm not sure what angle this is coming from. That's the idea. Like, what angle is Linux Mint gatekeeping? And you already know, I'm not a fan of gatekeeping either way case. I want the ability to open up whatever necessary processes I want. It could also be a repo issue. Could I not? Well, these are end of life. Wait, hold on. I'll be going backwards technically, which makes sense because I'm doing dot one one, not dot eight. Why end of? Wait, hold on. Why does it say end of life there? Hold on. I mean, that's true. That's why it's under a hidden case location. The hardware mixture can also be an issue. There's a lot of particular things that can happen um, during kernel installations. I mean, you're messing with low level stuff. It's not just Chrome being installed on top. I'm gonna take a drink break though. I'm gonna throw up some music real quick. New update does stupid things sometimes to keep things calm. They have to do it. That's the thing too, yeah. Is it like something that 618 is having issues with? Is it a conflict of their packages that they're including with Linux Mint and they don't want to remove it because of the conflict? So they just say, all right, well, if there's a conflict, forget about it, right? Well, 611's weird. Let's say 611 doesn't have an end life or would have an end life longer than 6.8. I mean, 6.8 would beat the technical. Wait, so we went backwards then. We went backwards to six. So you're saying when you went to 618, 618, you're using 618 versus 6.8. So you're using an older kernel rather than updating the kernel, because that's what I'm seeing here. Is this one supported till 2029? This one's a end of life kernel 11, and then 14 is supported by 2026. So 611 must have had a removal. So 618 would be after 614, but it would be definitely before 6.8 because this would be 6.80, just how decimals work. If they're doing it. Okay, I don't know. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Well, let's check it out anyway. I'm gonna do a reset. See if the compilation did anything new. That is weird that the dates are so off. Because they were saying on the thing that 614 is only 2026 supported, but 6.8, I guess because an LTS sort of consideration here, rather than the version and a timeline based on the version release, it's more of an LTS based 6.8 supported later than something like 611, which is not LTS, or 614, which is not LTS, potentially. We don't have 14 yet, or 18. Excuse me. So you're right. You didn't, yeah, you said that it was just released 5 days ago. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Still having that issue. But when I go here and go to built-in display, so anything that I try to adjust in the built-in mirror display case, integrated tech, that's not really integrated tech. That's my OBS USB, integrated tech 18. What's this? So it's gonna turn off the OBS. Now, black screen because now I'm using my mirror. I can mirror now. Hold on. Can mirror something, but it's not mirroring to anything, obviously, because it's not connected. What if I now integrate the connection and it's not mirroring this time? So as soon as I connect the display, it can't mirror. But when I don't connect the display, it says mirror, but why the hell do I have a mirror there? 6.8 was like the perfect kernel update, everything worked properly, so that was best. Yeah, okay, makes sense. Yeah, it's basically a release LTS long-term support. A super stable. So that's why I guess Linux Mint, because it is supposed to be one of those user-friendly case scenarios. Wait, now it changed though. The secondary display is now over here. All right, so 11 didn't work. I still have, let me check my NVIDIA settings. So I'm kind of still leaning towards potentially starting over then. Yeah, we're still running 580. NVLM operating system. Play configurations. Hmm. 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 That's the secondary. No. Wait, what? This has to be over to the other side. Whoa. Hello. That's a weird one. What? What? This is a weird one. Okay. Apply. The weird configuration happening here. So now it's in order. The order is correct. However, this is my main device. Let's see if the actual driver, the X screen, new X. Hmm. So that's my main, but I can't swap it for a main right now. What if I built-in display as the built-in display scale fraction may increase power usage, resolution, landscape space. By that consideration, they stayed on that version. No, it won't change even after reinstalling. We did restart after that. Yeah, we did restart after that kernel update. Oh, hello. That's interesting. Okay, cool. Well, that's cute. Adding. At this point, I don't not even care if I break down the system. I'm just playing around with stuff. Composition, G-Sync, Metadata, G-Sync. Detect displays. Reload current X server settings. Okay, detect displays. Something is fishy. I don't know what it is, but it isn't working very good for me right now. It does definitely seem. Oh, wait, hold on. This, this, apply. Give me a primary adjustment. Make this my primary. Okay. All right. So then if I swap this, then okay, it is doing the thing it's supposed to do. All right, good. Forceful composition pipeline. I mean, since I'll be reinstalling stuff anyway, let's do a Wayland, I guess. Ugh, 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 ugh. Makes me cringe inside. Dark Wayland Utils protocol. Uh, what's the complete install of the interface? Wait, I do have it already. Let me see. Hold on. I just have to log out. I do have this already. Wait a minute. Wait. No. Again. Okay, now that it adjusts. Again. Okay, now that it adjusted. That's weird. Oh, look, I can do screenshots. I can do screenshots. That's cool. But wait a minute. Hold on a second. My adjustable factors. I'm not. The way that they've been trying to sabotage the the GitHub space, they had to fork away from the chaos. I don't know about it. I don't know about it. Chaos. I don't know about it. I don't know about it. Why can't I change it from the hold on. Do they have like a specialized menu? GNOME 3, what'd you do to my input? GNOME GDM login adjust. GUI login. No. So now that I've changed to the login of GDM, it doesn't show adjustments. Cinnamon was actually showing me the ability to log in with different, oh, that's cool, with different display managers. But now I'm finding that Gnome doesn't let me do that. There was a menu for me to actually choose what display manager to log in with. I did have a Wayland inside as well. I did see that there was a Wayland version of the Gnome. So all I have to do is switch display manager. I forgot how to do this without that little handy dandy user interface login adjustment. And I don't see any extra buttons, or unless there's like a shortcut key that opens up a GD. Wait, no, let's just press any key to log in. Okay, great. I'm leave my username or icon or something. Because you don't see what I'm seeing. I guess I adjusted the displays to be a little different now. Hold on. Let me just log back in. Let's kind of adjust this and I'll show you what I'm seeing here. All right, so here there would be a button that I'll be able to click and get basically whatever login display manager I wanted. GDM, XFCE, and right now it's really just Cinnamon and GDM plus the Wayland version of GNOME. But GNOME doesn't show this for me. So let me see something. Honestly, this is so much fun. I'm cool. I love like riffing around with the system. This kind of brings me back to when I was like 18. I got my Atheros chipset. I first installed Backtrack Linux. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Oh, well. Oh, maybe. Okay, let me just completely log out. All right, all right. I mean, I did, didn't I? Okay, wait. You might be right. I got fooled by the. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, well, I think I just saw the same thing. But there might be not listed. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. There's some things up here I'm not seeing. No, that's still that stuff. Now I'm logged out. Oh, wait. This thing's down here. Found you. All right, Wayland. Should I do experiment? No, wait, hold on. Should I do cinnamon on Wayland? It's bottom right. It's actually bottom right. Close. The top right's like the thingy. Or should I do gnome Wayland? Which one should I do? Classic. You know what? Give me some classic. Forget this. I want to go back to Ubuntu 12.04. Wait a minute. Give me some gnome 3. Wait, hold on. No, this is the same stupid thing. Wait, this is okay, but this is Wayland, right? Okay, we in Wayland now. Let's see how it does. I don't think it's gonna do. Is it gonna do? Is it gonna do? No, still have the hardware limits. So I'm starting to see a pattern. Starting to see a pattern. Let's try another one. Xorg. Yes. Xorg. That's what they're trying to mess with. GNOME Classic. Wait, I didn't do Wayland. I just did regular. Did I do regular Classic or did I do? Did I do Wayland Classic? GNOME, or did I just do GNOME Classic? I don't even remember what I did now. Okay, I don't remember that. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. I think I did GNOME Classic. Here's Wayland. This looks like more. Okay, this more looks. Oh, yes. Hold on. Oh no. Am I gonna like this? Am I gonna actually enjoy this? Am I actually gonna get a... Wait a minute. Is it because my... Okay, hold on. What do we say? You seeing this, right? You seeing this, right? This, and it's trying to overlay different types, incompatible resolutions. Oops. Is that the issue it's running into? It's not able to adjust one resolution to the other, so it just calls it a conflict? Huh. Why is you why are you so flat, buddy? Come on. Uh, wait, something adjusted. We're not in the same system configurations as before. Huh. Aw, something changed. Something definitely... Save current, show really quit dialogue, display style. Something like I have way less control over my graphics card in Wayland. There's the less details too. I'm not sure I like CUDA cores. Well, great. Hmm. Now I started to remember why I left for Arc. You have a good point. You have a good point. I think I'll try Cashew next time and we'll really take a look at that. Hmm. Hmm. I think you might have bought yeah, you might have convinced me at that point. See, now I can't even change the main display from one to the other. But see, that's the problem. This is the only issues I've had is with the NVIDIA. Okay, these are specifically for Wayland. I've only ever had issues with Linux and NVIDIA, but that's because NVIDIA doesn't like to support Linux, so they do everything for Windows and they trickle down a couple of drivers every 10 versions, 560, 570, 580. But the AMD system that I have, the actual desktop, I install it, it runs, I play whatever the hell I want. None of this issue. Desktop display is working fine. Everything's totally fine. So I wouldn't even say it's like a Linux thing. This has always been the issue with Linux, right? You can never tell if it's Linux that's the issue or those the issue. And up to this point in time, even with look at Steam, Steam Deck, Steam OS, everything that Steam is doing to basically give compatibility to Linux, they're working around what they can in order to get that compatibility, right? So we're seeing a lot of these sort of like Steam processes happening, the Proton experimental, and they're not even converting it to Linux. They're using it as like a pipeline to transfer running Windows systems into Linux. That's the biggest key. So it's a transfer of Windows compatibility into Linux versus giving Linux their own system. Because no one's gonna like compile Linux versions of their games because there's not a lot of people in Linux. I'll be tell like be honest, like 5-10% of populations in Linux right now. That's not much. That's not a thing. KDE Plasma Wayland. But also, the key was that, okay, the final test, right? I've played around with this, I farted around with this. The final test is let me reinstall Linux. Ah, this brings me back to the good old days. All right, I did something. I don't know what I did, but it's time to redo it again. Hold on. So we're gonna do a complete reinstall. And this time I'm gonna, from the beginning, install the NVIDIA driver first and then upgrade the system. Is that the concept that we're going for now? I mean, wait, I mean, we can check the game, yeah. Oh, let's try hunt under these conditions. Eh. Yeah, I have to remount that again. Hold on. See, I like these little menus. I love the old GNOME, not this one. This one's still not that great either, honestly. This one's like too fancy for me. The one where I had the places in one menu, the apps in the other. This is reminiscent of. Wayland does have some flow to it, but I still think they're doing that on purpose. Other locations. Nitro. There you are. I have to automatically set it up to mount and stuff. Where do I set that up? Is it in the config file? Hold on. Does it mean, hold on. Because we do have Proton already enabled. Unless there's a specific NV API, NVIDIA API. Where do I put that? Is that in the config file I have to adjust? Hold on. That's a flag. Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. I remember those flags you can adjust for the game particularly. Gotta say flag, the flag, the flag, extra flags. Where are my extra flags at? Where are my extra flags? Here it is. And the gotta say flag, man. Gotta say flag, man. Proton enable NVAPI equals 1. Okay. API. All right. And then no. There's still something. Okay, so maybe this ain't gonna do it. Let's test something simple. 7 days. Oh, but that's a stream. Ugh. Cream designer. Ugh. Hold on. Hold on. Can I not include all the stupid streaming games? Why do I have to do this every single time? Cloud. Enable stream cloud. No. Give me the games that are local to this PC and stop showing me all the things that are out there. Stop showing me the stream stuff. There we go. Let's play this. Is it just hunt? Is it my configuration? It might be just the whole overall configuration. Oh, true. Yeah. My bad. It's that thing. It's not working with anything. Yeah, something with whatever this issue is that we're having. Hold on, let me also check out the message. Whatever issue we're having with this weird adjustment monitor mirroring, let me try again, is popping up also for everything else we're trying to do. It says I'm playing on my other computer, but then it stops. Let me see the syslog. Update severity, PK info, and them unknown. Color and package, da 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 da. Nitro stream pack, PO, DOS devices. I'm not sure if this is a Proton issue. I mean, the way I can be sure is if I download a game directly onto this system that I don't have here already. Like, hmm, let's do carry on. It's a quick one. Download it locally onto the Linux home. See if that runs on its own. Oh, 10? Hold up. You said 10. I thought we were doing just experimental. Somebody else said experimental. Oh, sad. Dun, 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 dun. I'll restart Steam in order to play this. Yeah. So I'm gonna check it. Oh, hello, Flickr. Hello, Flickr. Holy moly. We are entering the end of our reign. What? I mean, this is on my other hard drive. This is on my Windows system, so will it launch? It doesn't look like it's gonna go. Downloading content. Reserving space. It keeps doing that thing. Oh, wait, we've got to do Proton 10 install. Oh my God. I can only do this once a year. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. This does bring back memories of me spending weeks trying to figure out why, like, my hardware integrated media control. Because again, like I was talking about, I had to make a script and I had to scour through all the remnants of the drivers of this, God, Acer Aspire Gem Edition, Gemstone Blue. It's beautiful. I love this mother effer. This guy. It was like the best like looking thing I've ever seen at that time, and this control panel was the best. But you know what? It only worked in the Windows. So I was like, oh no, I want to get away from Windows, but I want this beautiful control panel to work. I want to press play and I want to play and I want to change the volume by running my finger on this control panel. It's so alien future. I think I don't think I have it anymore actually. So I had to make a whole like script based on modifying the hardware registry. Like you would tap on it and it would be registered. It's connected to the system, right? So it would say, "Hey, this was pressed." And you're like, "Oh, great. Well, now I'm going to take this signal that I'm getting and attach this to the volume up." But it was a problem because this was like a volume percentage value and all I could do is just not percentage based, but if I tap up here, it's a plus, and if I tap down here, it's a minus. So I had to like hard configure and up and down, but everything else kind of worked out all right. Enable hardware encoding. Actually, I think this will be the case. Hold on. Forever erased by the archive. Wait, hold on. Eh, eh. Someone else tries that there today and doesn't even start. Stick with Bazite, stick with the Fedora the other guy was working with, because technically Bazite is a Fedora and a uh is it an Arc? No, it's not. It's Fedora mix. Fedora and or it's already like preloaded with the drivers too. So find an OS that's preloaded with the NVIDIA drivers. That's my recommendation for anyone with an NVIDIA, which is a lot of people, I would say nowadays, right? So, but if you have an AMD, you're free to literally just start it off the bat. The next tests I will do in the future, probably not right now because I've already killed like 2 hours on this sucker. And I need to get ready for some students that I gotta teach in a little bit later. I want to play a game. I want to chill for a bit. I don't want to troubleshoot all the way to my student sessions later. And I have 6 students in a row today. So I do want to play some games and just relax for a bit. But for my recommendation in a general sense is at the moment, NVIDIA works fine with Steam. It does work. It's just you have to get a configured, kernel compiled, already set up operating system. And in this case, it's going to be Bazite. Oh, let me see. I guess Pop. Yeah, there you go. Pop OS. I do have one, and like I have an ISO I can try. Bazite, Nobara, Garuda. I don't know what Nobara and Garuda is, but Bazite does. And okay, so it's not really pre-compiled, right? You have to go to Bazite. You have to pick a specific set of setup. This is a thing. You go to the download. It's gonna ask you, what kind of device do you have? What the hell is it? You'd say, all right, this is my hardware. GPU vendor. See, AMD works with everything, honestly. Ooh, AI. AMD AI? NVIDIA, like Steam's OS desktop. I would probably pick no, but hey, everyone's using KDE nowadays. It looks like load directly into Steam gaming mode. No, you can do the desktop experience. So this is kind of the best free Steam OS release that would be compatible with any computer that just kind of works in the beginning. I'm talking base users though. You told me earlier you agree with that guy on gatekeeping Arc, so you go ahead and gatekeep Arc. But I'm talking for basic users that just want to start using Linux and playing games without configurations. I don't know how much you have like Arc does start just works off the bat. Are you saying that you just install Arc and it works off the bat, no configuration, no terminal touching, no just an update, sudo apt-get update and you're good? So if that's the case, then sure. But if I have to go in and configure some factors inside of Arc, maybe like Cache OS, I'm not sure, but Cache OS didn't seem to be listed in the supported systems here. So System 76 is an official sort of uh, manufacturer of PCs. They use Pop OS. Okay, if that's what you're saying, then maybe. All right. The Texans. Don't you tell me this crap. Hardware offers proprietary driver during installation. Yeah, but then after that point, it's a pain in the ass. So I don't recommend Linux Mint pre-installed. Unless there's a pre-installed configuration, the CUDA toolkit is not freely distributable. Yeah. Pop OS, if you download NVIDIA. Yeah, so you really do have to find the NVIDIA version. God, imagine it used to be like 32-bit OS versus 64-bit OS. Now it's like, oh, you have to download the AMD graphics card OS or the NVIDIA graphics card OS. Like, why do we keep doing this forking path in the middle? So as far as Arch Linux for basic users, you would recommend caching. True or false? Is that the final verdict here? Cache. Cache install setup works fine. NVIDIA starts playing. 'Cause that will be my next test. I will put that to the test. I will set up a cache OS and then do the exact same thing and see how smooth I can get my NVIDIA to work. Page is trying to send you to this place, Spire Blue. No thanks. Bye-bye. Cache. Okay. So Cache is going to be my next attempt to see if I can just start it up and get it working and call it a day. Yeah, Cache OS. Okay. Okay. Because I know Bazite. I've already done the Bazite setup on, well, yeah. I don't know if I tested the Bazite setup on the NVIDIA with an actual gameplay. I think I did, or was that the desktop? I can't remember which one I did. So the next test is going to be Cache. See if I can get it to run with minimum admin tinkering. But so far, I can't really recommend Linux Mint for NVIDIA users. It does not seem, just the fact that the order, the kernel compiling error conflicts, whatever the hell that it's going on, that's not letting me simply do a mirror. I can't even do a simple mirror between the two displays that I have. That's a much bigger issue that's basically showing itself even in Steam. Some hardware limitation. Something is not configured right. There's a conflict somewhere, and it's just not good for regular users. So I don't recommend having to deal with and fart around with this crap. Why is it that Arc based is so better for NVIDIA? I know Arc is more compiled from bases. They should simply work out of the box. The drivers have open kernel modules that should just work. TM. TM trademark. Man, what Arc did for me, I installed Manjaro, did basic install and installed Steam. It works. Okay, so I'm gonna definitely try out next time Cache, see how that works. I'm hearing a lot about Cache. That's a good thing. Um, like more recent packages, it's using more recent kernels. It's just pulling the most recent everything and calling it a much more updated. So you're saying is it's basically just more updated than Linux Mint is. I mean, I'm guessing in the case of kernel, that makes sense because we just checked the kernel and they had like 6.14, and we recently just 5 days ago got 6.18, so they don't even have that yet. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. They do that for the LTS long-term support thing. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, Arc does definitely have a bit more, because it's more manual. That's my only fear is users that want to jump into um Linux and end up going into Arc, and all of a sudden it's more than they can handle. Like a basic user, and I taught my mom Linux. She can handle a browser. That's it. A browser. Firefox, I can go to my email and YouTube. I'm set. That's my mom. Right. She ain't here no more, but when she was, I taught her how to use Linux, and I thought it was the best moment of my life. And then we got a new computer and had Windows, and she didn't want to go back to Linux because, it's also had a browser and YouTube and email. Didn't want to reinstall anything. So the whole idea was that a base user, I shouldn't have to deal with anything crazy. My wireless Xbox controller could not doing wireless anymore for that reason. Drawback is that if a breaking update comes, you will receive it. That's true. That's true. Okay, well, yeah, there you go. There's your arch case scenario. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If there is a particular update that might break stuff, ooh. Is there a way to turn off experimental or non-verified updates with Kanji and Manjo and make sure latest kernel doesn't get pushed? Yeah, I think Kashi was the case for a much more, let me see, hold on, much more user-friendly environment, right? Let's cover about packages. There's a version of the kernel, 618 like you mentioned. There's a 580, Open LTS. There's something in there. There's something in there that does show some sort of compatibility matchup. Linux Mint won't have that, will it? I don't know if they have a packages section. No, they have mirrors, versions. They don't actually have a packages section? What if I want to check that stuff? I guess it's supposed to be even. I guess if you want to just be a super basic user, open up a file editor and make some documents. Linux Mint is for you. Documentation. Fucking Linux screenshots. You want to see some pretty screenshots? The operating system works as good as the screenshots, I swear. Oh, I rip on anything. I rip on any operating system. Okay, so breaking kernel gets patched before they show up to OS. That's fair. You got to do a test, right? So I'm safe. So I'm safe yet, brother, or I'm not safe yet, brother. Which one is it? You're safe or you're not safe yet? That extra yet's confusing me. On the considerations there. Mirrors. The mirrors for packages? No, it's just a mirror to download actual projects. Okay, well, I like the fact that there is an actual like package search for caching. Oh, anyway, guys, I'm done. I need to have some fun. 50-50 saves. That's a flip of a coin, man. That's like um what is it? Russian roulette with two slots, one bullet, and a firewall that might or might not be on. Schrodinger's firewall. Is it on or is it not on? Mark experience is 50-50. Um, let me see. So anyway, here's kind of a recap, right? So Linux Mint, good for AMD, not good for NVIDIA. Good maybe also for just regular laptops with those Intel graphics cards that you're not going to be playing any crazy like games on. But if you need NVIDIA, so far it sounds like we're going towards Cache. Bazite works. I did confirm that it works. At least it installs and it works fine. I did all the things I needed. I don't know if I actually installed a game to test it, but that's probably going to be the next test I'm going to do for Bazite. For Cache, that's going to be the next actual test. Not today, not now, because I kind of like out of it, man. I can only do something for so long before it gets to my head. When you give Kashi a try, definitely read the wiki. It goes for every distro if possible. Saves you so much time. See, that's the thing though. Like I will read a wiki. I'm a techie and I will read a wiki. But tell that to a regular user that just wants to install and go. Now you're kind of like, should a user have to read a wiki? Or can the user just install and go? Now we're kind of running into a conflict. So I don't know. You got to consider this as a basic user situation. Some dude, honestly, like, okay, imagine console bro, Xbox bro, PlayStation bro. They're tired of using controllers. They see the benefit in a mouse, but also Windows is starting to suck, and they're waking up. We have a future of people that are about to wake up and they realize they don't want to be on Windows, they don't want to be on a network, they don't want to be on a subscription. Oh, if I have issues, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. If you have issues to use the wiki to help through, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, but just to read a wiki to start using an operating system is a little too extra, right? We have to make sure that we have the ability to help these people convert away from these places that are taking advantage of them. Advantage of them. That's the ultimate goal here. So CashEOS will be next. Also, guys, like and subscribe. Check me out on Patreon if you want to help out and just kind of support. You can find me at Patreon at Super Scholar ChrisMIA. This is basically where I do my tutoring. I write articles. I do everything from the TPM modules that's happening, Campbell's writing. I like to write. You saw that I did technical writing. I did journalism for tech stuff. I went to Taiwan and did some reviews there for some hardware. Well, I just started writing about a bunch of other stuff too. A bunch of random stuff, parallels of the USA, Tower of Babel and the fall of Rome, commodities crucial for manufacturing computer components. It's not any particular. I do focus on a lot of market-based stuff, so stuff that affects the market, whether it's the technical market, the wars that will cause issues with supply chains, or when our corporate overlords calls us poor, or has some sort of poor consideration or a class-centered bias. Um, so follow support. You can just be free. You don't have to pay anything. But if you do want any assistance mathematic-wise, programming-wise, I do support that. This is basically where I do my tutoring on the private level. These are kind of my sets, right? You've got 1 hour a month, $30. You've got 2 monthly hours, 50. The more you get, the less it costs. You also have just office hours, essentially just sending me screenshots, and then I will respond with markup and other types of valuable um, responses, right? You could be doing Pythagorean theorem, you could be doing trigonometry, you could be doing all kinds of stuff. So that's one way to find me. I also work at StigMe Learning, and if you don't want to do Patreon, you can find StigMe Learning. You have a bunch of different tutors you can try. And if you have a student, if you know somebody, you have a child, you have a friend that needs help, we help anyone from three to, well, I'd say third grade up to like 12th, plus college. I don't think we had any college students, but I personally have helped a lot of college students at my work in Valencia College and University of Central Florida. But most of my students from STIGME are going to be um, basically third grade to 12th, preparing for college level content. So there's a lot of ways to find me online. You can just go to STIGME just to sign up for any tutor. You can switch between tutors and see which one best fits because there's a case for like just making sure the student clicked with the professor. It's not always a case of like not every two people in the world are gonna like actually connect or be able to work together. So there's a way for STIGME to be beneficial because you can go from tutor to tutor to tutor to tutor and see which one works best for your kid, student, or whoever that needs help, or for you if you're looking for that help. Otherwise, you can use me personally. You've seen my videos, you've seen what I do online. If you like the way I teach, the way I communicate, then you can set yourself up for a membership and get help when it comes to anything between third grade to college, really. I support computer science-based classes, sorting algorithms, differential equations, physics with applied calculus 1, 2, and 3, and I can assist in that regard. So, yep, that's all I gotta say. I gotta put my little spew in somewhere, right? I hate doing it. I hate actually talking about myself because it's like, you know, the thing. Hey guys, let me give you a quick advert real quick. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. So I'm done for now. Thanks for joining in, guys. Thanks for the conversations. I really do enjoy Linux-based conversations. Do like and subscribe so we can continue on this next time when I do the cache. If you haven't already been subscribed or liked or whatever the case may be. So stay tuned. I'll put those notifications up, and let's continue the conversation for the next round of hopefully not having to do this much to get a system set up. Exam seasons, and here I am. Sorry, did I take up your time? What are you studying, by the way? What's your subject? I know you were saying you're doing ARC and you stayed here because you wanted to kind of like work with what we were doing, and you were just in the subject of Arc Linux and Linux stuff. What's your exam stuff? What subject you doing? So what's '07? Learn new skills with me. Oh, have meta packages, seven everything you need. '07? Just play games. Thanks, thanks. Hell yeah, computer science. Dude, I will say it is the best subject we can do because it's such a critical thinking space. It applies to everything. Deep learning and generative AI. Let me tell you this. I have a friend of mine that does business finance. He got laid off, but we've been doing applications with an AI, and we can kind of kick out like 300 applications at once. Now, would you imagine that his business finance and economics degree, the applications that he's going for included computer science potential degrees? So you don't even have to be a business finance major anymore to be in a business finance position. Think about it, quantum, um, what's the word? Quants, right? Quants, financial quants. What's the shortness for the quant? Basically, those people that can do math in a very effective way that they can find things that even business professionals can't find in tables and SQL databases and Python. Basically, I'm seeing business professionals get replaced by the techies. So you're in a good place. Yeah. And I'm like kind of surprised to see that like all of his particular, like literally, FP&A analyst or a gap-based central data analyst, all of them are required. Who's this? All of them are requiring, oh, my grandma's calling. All of them are requiring that you know Python now and you know how to manage a SQL database. This is for a business finance position. And I'm talking like 75% of the positions we applied out of the 300. And it got to a point where he would be like, "No, no, this is data analysis. This is your type of stuff." Because he knows me, you know, he knows I do Python, SQL, and I do data management and data processing. It's like, "No, no, I can't do this one. This is for you." I'm like, "Yep, I know. Let's go forward." Anytime I said Python and SQL, he was like, "Nope, we can't do that one." So consider that the future, like I'm really predicting the future is going to be that exactly. It's going to be in the hands of the computer science majors. Even though right now we're having issues with like this AI sort of taking over the jobs of developers, but this is basic developers. This is those developers that work in a cubicle that have been working on one object for one corporation for the last 5 years to make it function the way that the schematics of a documentation is meant to make it function. They don't know anything about the full length and extent of the project they're working on. They're only working on whatever their criteria is for that one object, that one API file or whatever. So, like, yeah, they're programmers in the sense that they know how to use a programming language. They're kind of monkey wrenches because they're kind of doing one thing and they haven't actually like expanded on further. They maybe know one language like C really good, but then they're not even that good. You get them to try and make their own application, they won't be able to because they've been working on somebody else's project in a cubicle for so long. Yeah, no, I agree. Like actually being able to work with AI, managing an AI ecosystem. And I'm telling you, AI isn't that smart, so you got to be really clever with your words and your prompts. I'm still figuring a lot of that stuff out. I gotta like mix in my social capabilities my understanding of human nature. Also, trying to figure out how to get the AI to not loop forever when it's searching for something online. It's just the order in which certain things pop up. The prompt has to change in a particular way. I don't even know. I have to make it more of a dynamic prompt, I think. Anyway, good place to be. And also, critical thinking skills work way further than just programming and science. It's helped me personally in a lot of different places, including financial stuff, data analytics, the ability to self-contain myself logically based on what am I doing that's detrimental and bad for myself based on optimization. Because the computer science major is addicted to optimization. That's it. We want to find the best loop, the fastest way, the lowest recursions, the smallest list, and the fastest, least memory capable process to get something done. That's what a computer science guy does. Computer engineer doesn't care about that equation. They just want big, strong hardware because hardware is going to compensate for the extra loops we're going through. The engineer is kind of like the football player of the computers, like computer tech world. Computer engineer is just a football player. It's like, oh, just get the biggest guy and make him run into the wall, and he's gonna do the job no matter what. And the computer science guy is like the nerd, like, well, if we find a weakness in the wall and we get a decent sized man to actually maybe have I don't know, a ramming device with him, and he can just ram through the wall without having any issues. Like, why do we need the big bulky dude? He takes a lot of sorry. Uh, the big bulky dude eats too much food. He's inefficient. His optimization is horrible. So like, there's like a big kind of like fight between hardware and software, and computer science guys are the ones that know how to optimize. This is the big difference between DeepSeek and OpenAI. OpenAI is throwing. Oh, you're an engineer. Sorry. Computer science is the one you want to be in. Just say. Um, OpenAI is like trying to throw as much hardware they can, even though we're approaching Planck's constant, where we're just kind of floating at the very top of our possible smallest base transistors until we get to like a quantum, subquantum level. And DeepSeek Asian Chinese is a great example of, hey, we don't have the hardware to apply the same capabilities as the data centers in the US. What's an algorithmic optimized approach to effectively still have as smart of an AI with less processing power? And it's just cleaning up the prompts, cleaning up the mental thought of the AI, and all of the algorithmic optimizations. And I'm gonna say, I worked with a lot of Asians and Chinese people in my life. They be learning calculus at 10th grade. They know their math. They barely have any summers. They don't have many holidays. The poor kids are literally jailed in their schools until they graduate. So yeah, they're gonna know they're smart people. They're smart people. So I've had a lot of tutors from China. I had a lot of students from China. I've met a lot of people from China, and they do have a different way of looking at education. They basically see it that if you take a break, you're gonna fall behind. And of course, we have a whole global fight between two sides, East and West, and we're always competing for the better of the two types, minds, the better of the two technologies, the better of the two economies. So of course, they're gonna probably push their citizens a little too hard. But the thing is, you don't have to fall into that football player engineer concept. You being both is like using both sides of your brain. It's you're gonna not only come in as a computer science guy, but you're gonna enter the engineering space that has been already been made into this. Let's break things with bigger hardware. You're gonna come in like, well, yeah, we can use bigger hardware, but we can also compromise with some combinations of efficient software, firmware, and hardware. You can come in and adjust that. I'm not saying you're entering the same space. I'm saying that that space has been this way for the last 10 years. Engineers don't really care about the mathematical optimizations. That's all I'm saying. They just like to create shit, which is great. But now you're coming in with the dual mindset that you can help them think a little bit more effectively as a computer science and engineer. I'm not saying you're going to turn into them. I'm saying you have the capabilities of changing the path that they're going on, right? That's what I'm saying. So don't feel offended that I said that. This is just how it's been, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have to change. That doesn't have to, that it has to stay this way forever. Anyway, I can talk about I can talk about this all day. I can kind of go on a rant on a continuous basis for anything and eventually end up somehow talking about Socrates and the Roman Empire falling apart. My brain can kind of do a lot of things at once, and sometimes it just wants to rest. So I'm gonna go play some hunts or something. I don't know if I want to play hunts. Oh, I'm probably gonna catch up on some news first. It is a market day, and the market should be starting in 30 minutes, so I should probably start paying attention to that too. Anyway, thanks for joining. Really appreciate that conversations. Like the interactions you guys have in here. I like the path. I do like the going towards caching. That's fair. That's fair because in a way it's okay, we're gonna start talking more about this. It's a objective perspective. Some people can't drop into both sides of the conversation. They only stuck on one side. That's my summary. I can go into whole detail about it, but people can't objectively see one side versus the other. So they're not able to communicate on both sides. It's like having a creative mind and having a logical mind. Da Vinci was both. He's a great reference for people to open and maintain a creative and logical perspective. If you're really logical and you suck at art, go fucking draw something. Train that art side of your brain. If you're an artist and you're imaginative and you can see so many things, but you hate math, go pick up some equations and train that side of your brain. You're more powerful when both hemispheres are balanced. Anyway, to prevent me from going on more tangents, I'm gonna start leaving now. Make sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Patreon. You see the stuff happening. I appreciate all the help. If you want to just keep up with stuff, I did a spew. I'm not gonna do it again. Just go to my Patreon, check it out. I'm gone. I'm gonna keep talking about stuff for the end of the days of the world, and I appreciate you guys again coming in. Thank